Now S3. So S3 custom event one. So I already pasted there. So like whenever your file is arrived in S3 bucket,
Okay.
it will automatically trigger the lambda. And then you can check the log in the cloud log. Okay. But further, like see, lambda is an intermediate tool. It can read the data. It's like a pipeline, you can say serverless computing, where you can get data from any source or write the data to any packet. Okay. So lambda provides integrations basically. Okay, from the different source and different targets. Okay. So here integrations you can do anything, but if initial testing you want to check right whether your lambda is triggered or not first of all. Okay. So once your lambda is triggered and you are able to read your data in your lambda from your S3 files, right? Then you can write the data to anywhere. Okay. But this example is just displaying the data on the console, right? Just we are checking only whether lambda is triggered or not. Okay. Okay, so in this example, like create a bucket. So here are the four sections they divided, right? Creating bucket and uploading object in the bucket, and lambda function, create a policy role, and deploy code. So this all part we done, and configure trigger. So trigger we have to configure by adding a trigger, and S3 has a custom event, and custom event you can trigger both the ways. You can configure both the ways. Either you can configure from S3 or you can configure from S3 or you can configure. So those can be configured both the ways. Suppose API gateway I'm configuring, so I can configure from the API gateway trigger, or we can configure from the lambda to API. Okay. So you can create trigger from them. Okay. So first, let's see our API gateway example. Okay. So that it was not working before. Okay. So only API gateway, right? If I create any API, okay. So I build the API, okay, REST API and new API, and I just say some item API, okay, some item. Okay. So I will create API. Then next thing is I have to create a resource. Click on the resource. So you just give the name same item, search item. Okay. We created a resource. And next thing is we have to create a method. Create a method. Once we come here, because I'm doing the get method, okay, and lambda function integration. And here we need to choose the lambda function. So already if lambda function is there, so I can integrate with the lambda function. So check which lambda function is the even if we gateway. Then so we create our own lambda function. Python is integration, Python frequent and role, you know, right? I created already role, this AWS Lambda role, and this role I have already added. Uh, Now this time I'm triggering this from the API gateway. The API gateway full access, right? So I have added already to create function. Here is no trigger. This is a simple, and I just any event if it is triggered from the API gateway, I print the event. Okay, just I'm printing event to see what are the data is coming. So I will deploy this, and my lambda function is ready. Okay. Even if I want to test my locally this lambda function, so I can click on the test, and here I can give the event name, my event, and I can, and then I can test. So here it is not printing anything, but if I print event the parameter we are passing, right, the T1. So in the test, you are passing the event, right? So if you have seen my event, that's my event configuring test event. So T1 is their value 1. Okay. So if you want to access the event data, so you have to give the pass the you have to pass the key. So this output, whatever print you are giving, this print will be printing in the CloudWatch. We go to monitor and check the CloudWatch. There you will find your print statement. So here, if you check this here, so you are able to see print event means all the events keys are coming. Keys 1, key 2, key 3, right? But when I'm printing only one key, how I'm giving? Okay, key 1 I have to give because there is no key. So here, if I get any error, try and test. If you can see here, the function log is coming here. The key 1 has the value is value 1. So first is printing all the event, all the keys, right? Whatever event data is coming. Okay. And this one is printing the event key, right? Key 1. Okay. So now this lambda function I will trigger from the API gateway. Okay. So I will go to my API gateway. I have last time I created API gateway resource, okay, items, okay, and here search item API. So this search item API, I have to create a method. So when I'm giving a method here, I have to select the get method, okay, and lambda function, and I have to choose the function name. Function name I created items API gateway, okay, and lambda proxy integration. To send the request to your lambda function as a structured event, enable this one, okay, sending this lambda event function. Can create a method. Once your method is created, you will see screen like this. Okay? You will see a screen like this. Okay. And now here um, you have to go to test stages. Okay. Next is we have to deploy the API. Okay. To deploy API, select a stage, new stage, give the name of the stage like test or the and click on the deploy button. So you will see here, you will be creating a one test stage. And when you plus icon, you click. So here in the get, you will get this is your actual invoking URL. So we had to find this URL. This URL, if I copy this URL, the postman, I'm just, this is a get method and I'm changing this get URL. Okay. So right now, it will be So let me check the log. Okay, because this hit has gone to the API lambda. Okay, so I have to go to the my lambda function. And if I see here, if I refresh here, my lambda, my API gateway trigger will come. Because I configured my trigger in API gateway, I have created API gateway and given integration to lambda, so my API gateway automatically printed. Okay. Now the error is coming. Okay. Why the error is coming? Now I'm triggering the API gateway and expecting the key one. So key one will be giving error because there is no key one because I'm not sending any data. Okay. So this line will not work out. Okay. Because I can print event, but there is no key one. If I show you the log, okay, you can check monitor CloudWatch. So here you can see the log. If you click here, okay, can you see here this one? This is the old one. This is the old one. And can you see this error? This log? This log is coming event. So what event is coming from the API gateway? This event is coming. Okay, this is all parameters are coming when the API gateway hit the lambda. Okay, so it is passing, but here is the body. If you see, right, these are the some test data is there, the price and this one, this one. So this all test data is coming in the body. Okay, but if I see here when I'm saying E1 is not there in this data, right? In this event, because when we are testing locally in the lambda here, if I test, then it will work fine. Because when I'm going a test event, the test event has my E1. Okay, but when I'm getting the invocation from the API gateway, so there is no key one. So I can't use the key one. Okay? So I have to use the field which is coming in the this response. So this CloudWatch log event is coming, I can check. Okay, so if I check here, one is a HTTP method. So if I check if HTTP method is what HTTP method my invocation, my it is coming, so I can find it is a get. What is the body? So body I can check. So body and then we have the price of these things. So suppose I want to get these fields, I can take it. Okay, like one is a HTTP method. So I will print event of HTTP method. Okay, and print body. Okay, so I want to print those keys which are coming in my event. So when API gateway is hitting, it is giving me these keys. Okay, so I deploy this. Okay, I will not test from here. I will invoke my API gateway URL. Okay, I will again hit. So I will copy this URL and this URL I will hit. Now I'm getting a output hello from lambda. So how this output is coming? This output is coming the final response code. This is the final response. But along with that, I'm printing this, right? So where I will get this messages, I will get in the log. Monitor, go to the CloudWatch, and here is one invocation log request came. Okay, so one invocation came here from API gateway to lambda. So the latest one is a 10.02. We go in the inside this. So can you see body is coming none, but method is coming get. Okay, so method is coming get. So we need to check what is the exact key is there. So key is body is there, but it is getting the none. See here, it is getting the none. Okay, because it is not bringing any body response because this is a get API. Okay, suppose if I'm passing some parameter. So if you see here, if we analyze this one, every information is coming from API gateway to lambda by this. So this will give me the information what I'm getting, okay, to lambda, and then based on the my API request, right, I can do some manipulation. So I can do the manipulation on that, okay. So my resource I know, path I know, okay, HTTP method, okay. So HTTP method is a get, okay. There the other information is related to this request. Path parameter, query string parameter. This query string parameter is coming none here. But suppose if I'm passing some input value to my URL, right? If I'm passing, where I'm invoking here, yeah, here, if I say question mark, it is equal to 1. Okay. So I'm still not getting any error. I'm not getting any error. Let's see this ID equal to 1 is coming. So I will open again CloudWatch log. Or the same log we can refresh it because it will be the same log it is appended. The newer one. So this is the first time came. This is the second time 10:05. 10:05. Okay, so this is the latest request. Let's see our value came in this or not. Compare it. For searching here, query string parameter. Can you see this ID equal to 1 is coming? In your query search parameter, ID 1 is coming, right? Here previously ID is coming now. Okay, this query search parameter is coming now. So whatever you are giving in the question mark, right? You will get the values here. Suppose you want to find a search item, right? You say you have a DynamoDB table and you want to find some item in the DynamoDB and print the result, okay? Or write into the S3 file, okay? So this is a complete use case where you want to get the data from the API gateway ID, and you will search this ID into DynamoDB table and get the record and write the data into S3, okay? So for this one, first of all, you have to get the ID value 1 in your lambda, okay? So it is coming in the query search parameter. So query search parameter, I can take it. I can simply in my code, if I add here my query search parameter, why the body is coming none? Because this is a get request. Get request, we are not passing the body. But when you are using a post request, you will get a body content. You will get a body content, and that body content can be a JSON message. Okay. So sometimes when you write a data, suppose you say you want to write a data into DynamoDB table, okay, or you want to write the data body request data, you want to write in a file, S3 file. So you can take it from the event body. Okay. So now you are able to print this one. But inside this one, again, one more parameter is there, ID. Because I have to get the value of ID. And that ID value, my variable, okay? And that ID, I can get the data from the DynamoDB table, or I can do anything, okay? So first we print here ID equal to 1. Okay, the ID value, whatever I'm passing, should come. So now I will hit another time, and this time I give the my value something like suppose 101. Okay, now I'm hitting. Now I check the log. Okay, gateway. So here the latest log 1009 came, and 1009 log. So are you able to see 101 is coming? Right. So 101 I received it from the my API gateway invocation. Okay. Now this 101 ID I can use it for access any other service I can pass and get the data. Okay. So we have seen how API gateway can invoke lambda. Okay. Now we can configure, like suppose I want to get the data from the DynamoDB. Okay. Or I want to integration of the DynamoDB. Okay. We have the DynamoDB. So for DynamoDB, see this one. So suppose I'm reading some file from the S3. Okay. So this is the data is reading S3 data. Okay. So if I'm getting the multiple values and I can write into the DynamoDB. So for DynamoDB, what I need to add, I have to add first thing is DynamoDB resource. So I have to add in my code DynamoDB resource. So I will create a DynamoDB resource. Okay. And then next, I will have to access the DynamoDB table. So I have the table there in the DynamoDB. So I will create a DynamoDB table. I will go to the DynamoDB. Okay, create a DynamoDB table. So simple table I'm going to create in DynamoDB. Create table. So I keep it up to EMP ID, EMP name, and EMP profession. And table name I'm giving EMP1. EMP1 table I'm creating. EMP underscore ID. Okay. Short key is optional. We don't need to give. Partition key is the data distribution purpose. The partition key is used, and that key is basically primary key also. So the partition key is the part of the table's primary key, and I'm taking here the string type. Okay, and create table, and we have to add the other fields. Okay, so once this table is created, okay, so my table is created. I will go inside this table, and I have to have added DynamoDB resource in DynamoDB table. Now I have to go. So in event, this data is coming. Okay. But our data, okay, if I want to send this data, so I can send the data in the post as a JSON data. To change the post function. The method I create, post type, same lambda, items API, proxy integration, create method. So multiple methods can be created, right, for the same API. The one is a get, one is a post. Okay. The post I can pass the request body. Okay, passing the body. Fields are there. I will use it, those fields here. So my field is EMP ID, name and profession. I will give same data, EMP ID, EMP name, EMP profession. So I will change here. Mm, so I don't need this field, and the ID is so I want to submit this data. Let's verify if this data is able to receive or not. Then we will do. Okay. So here is everything is ready. Now I have to go to my lambda and I have to here because now the query parameter is not coming. I'm getting the body part. I will be having body. This time body is there. Okay. So I deploy it. Okay. And I will hit my URL. Internal server error. Okay. Let's see in the monitor. Internal server error is basically something error came in the your invocation lambda side. So we need to check our lambda. So what is the request? Check NFT. This is the request. P is not defined. Okay. Yeah. So whenever you are using this Boto3 object, right? So Boto3 import Boto3. So if you see in my this scope, import Boto3 is there. So import Boto3. So we have to here add import Boto3. So you will come to know the error and then you can fix it the error. Okay. Now we will hit the URL. Okay. Spell this. Other type post is coming and error. It is not able to find the key like body on the wing. So let's see what is the data is coming. Data is coming in the body. The same data, whatever JSON data I'm sending, is coming in the body. And this body is part of which parameter? Because directly body is not a key. If I check this, so JSON editor, we can see JSON editor online. So from JSON editor online, you can, so not able to see, so you can body is coming here. And this body is, this if I see, this is the, this is the all same level of parameter. Okay, header is there, HTTP method is there, query string parameter is there, and there is a request context, right? So this body is part of so I have given meaning to, yeah. So now my request is success. Okay. Um, uh, I'm able to print my JSON message. Okay. So this is the one record, but you can send multiple records, right? So this is the JSON data you are able to get from the API gateway. So now I can implement the same logic. So I'm getting here the JSON message data, right? So now if I have to parse it, I have to parse the data, the JSON data I have to parse, and then I have to create a list. So how to convert, right, the JSON data to dictionary we can do, and then we can this logic EMP employees and if your JSON string is coming like this, so JSON dot load, you will get the so single line command. We should use and each values of the object you will prefer by one by one. You can use the square bracket. Okay. So first we add this code. So we are getting the here event of body, right? So this event of body, I'm getting this JSON string here, right? And import JSON already there. I will get EMP detail. So this is all EMP details. So I will run a for loop. So I will use this logic to get all the values. But I have to access by using the when I say for EMP in employee details, okay, each item in the dictionary you take, and when you want to get you have a EMP square bracket. So what are the fields are there? Directly it. So EMP ID is basically nothing but your EMP details of EMP ID. So EMP ID. Same like you will do for EMP name. And you will do for the EMP profession. Here EMP name. So this is each item from the dictionary is taking and writing into the table as a put item. And finally your table is complete. So you are basically table item put, and you are setting the field of your table, and here you are taking the data from the your just okay dictionary. Okay, so how to take it dictionary, like square bracket single code you can write. We deploy the indentation. Very greater than inflation. Where you can see the error is. Okay, I think we are trying to run with the test, right? So it will move block. So put one is giving error, requested resource not found. So requested resource is not a tab error. It's basically the error related to resource not found. The requested resource not found. Table name was EMP1, not EMPL. Okay. So requested resource not found means like this DynamoDB table it was not able to find. We already created a DynamoDB table. Now we just create a here. We get uh, table icon. See the data is proper. So you can see here like how we can invoke API gateway to get the data. So same data you can take it from the S3 file. So this is the example of S3 file. But this is a manually you are getting from the S3 file, but you can put a custom trigger event that also can do. Like instead of getting to S3 file, manually you are giving here the bucket and file path, okay, and you are giving a bucket name and key. So it will read the file and it will pass and it will write the data to the same DynamoDB table. But if you want to write a custom event way, so you don't need to provide this all. So directly you will get the event is a JSON messages. So you will get the data directly from the data which you are triggering. So you will get the data. Okay. Let's do the custom event. I already this three bucket and is the all how to read from the bucket. So you have to give like this. So which bucket it is calling, which file it is calling to custom event, automatically you will get it here. So it will find out which bucket and which key. So you don't need to provide anything not to your code. Code will automatically detect because here if you see, there is nothing you are giving bucket and name. It is coming from the event because event has records and record is having S3 and bucket name and then you will get the key. Okay. So this particular code is reading for the custom event. If you want to give hard-coded way, you can directly write your bucket name and file name, and then you can get object you can call on the S3 object. Okay. But here you are not doing, you are doing S3 photo3.client. Here you are doing photo3 client, you are getting a S3 object client. Here you are getting S3, but this S3 you are using for getting the object once you get the bucket and key. Like same thing here you are doing get object, bucket and key, right? But here bucket and key dynamically you are finding based on the custom event it will trigger. Okay, you don't need to give manually the bucket and key. So this is the difference between this code and this code. This code is manually you are reading the bucket and file, you know, but here you are getting trigger, right? You are getting a trigger. So this code you place it. Okay. Now you have to add a trigger from here. You can trigger add or you can trigger from the S3. So add trigger, you go and you select your S3 bucket. Event type and to give only specific type of file. You already use this suffix rule for the same bucket in another lambda. So this error is ambiguous error. So if I'm trying the same txt in the same bucket, okay, in another lambda, so it will not allow. So if I say I don't want to do lambda, I say I'm going to create the CSV. You understood, right? Same rule you cannot apply from the two different lambda for the same bucket. Okay. Otherwise, it will automatically find. Like if it is you have already, because I have some function already out of these function, one function has already S3 trigger. Okay, and that S3 trigger, somewhere S3 trigger is there, and that S3 trigger also already put it. Uh, in which one? I think maybe this is the this mark. This one. This is the S3 trigger. And this S3 trigger, if I see, it is the same bucket, okay, and same dot txt. So it was already there. That's the reason it was not allowing me. Okay. So I can use any one type of rule in one lambda. Okay. So now my S3 custom event, I have placed the trigger, okay, and as per this one, placed it and the document. That's not good for me. So document upload the file. Interface India everything. We are waiting for no things. That's the item number. Mhm. So create a policy. Application code. Okay, so whatever role we have, we add that policy. We think that we can make it one. So I go to my IM. There is a three full access is there. We have add attached policy. And system not created. So we have, I have added this. So in S3 also we can see the same custom event. If we go to the properties of the bucket, so here is this is the custom event. So I created a two lambda functions, right? Different lambda functions. One is for the TXT, one is a start of. I gave some folder. C is the check created in proceeding is to get for input and output. Create a folder. Got it. Successful. Understand what is the issue? Okay, got it, the issue. Now content type is clean. Okay, so issue is nothing but this dot CSV, like we're giving a star dot CSV in the event when you created event here. So when you create a trigger, right? So give dot CSV, not a star dot CSV. The suffix we need to tell. We don't need to tell star dot CSV. We have to tell which type of file it is. So dot CSV extension file. Okay. And when the lambda is triggered, so it has detected the file. So I'm just printing the content type. So content type is it's showing. Okay, but if I want to print the bucket and key, let's see, print. Okay. I am also I added this not required. Only the problem was is I added this policy. So now no policy. Now I'm closing the file here. Closing the one. Now I will go to the monitor. No, I have deployed on the 40 monitor. So 10-15 minutes. Can you see bucket name and my file name is coming, right? Okay. So we can read the data. So try out this example. Okay. I have given this code already and I will share this code. So you can take it this code. I will share it, this code also. This code is there in this link. I already given this link. So just try it out this method. Okay. Okay, I will connect on Monday.